Hi everybody, Andrea Carmen here at Inner Sparks Rehab Gym and Spa, helping people perform their best at midlife and beyond. So this is Peripheral Neuropathy Month, and to continue this theme, and why I'm excited is because there's so much more we can do, and the conversations I can have as a trainer and a therapist are so hopeful. So last week we talked about what is exciting regarding new approaches with peripheral neuropathy, and we covered the different things that impact work when you have this problem. This week we're going to be going into a bit more detail, specifically regarding around high-risk areas and injury prevention, very important in my opinion, in what the OT world we call areas of daily living. And those are things like showering, dressing, grooming, cooking, cleaning, stairs, curbs, hobbies, bending forward, picking up groceries, all kinds of things like that. And the reason these are considered high-risk activities when you have less feeling is you're more likely to, if you don't learn how to move better as you have less feeling, have burns, falls, cuts, things that can happen that are kind of normal risks with less feeling. So to decrease your risk of having an injury, an effective rehab program needs to be addressing 3 areas. And if that's not being addressed, I encourage you to work with people and find people who will. Give us a call. I've got people I know around the country. So, or if you live close here, come on in. But these 3 areas are vision, balance, and movement. 3, if you're not rehabbing all 3 areas and it's not specific to the activity you're doing where you're creating movement patterns that are more efficient, despite the fact that you have the neuropathies, you're more likely to continue to have pain, and you're more likely to have to slow down in your life in ways that you may not want to. This is because everything in the nervous system is connected. It's one big thing, and that's the beauty of it. So even if we do lose connection in one area, we can use all these other nerves. There's a zillion nerves in the body, and we can use those to accommodate and adapt. And that's actually how the body is designed. So if you improve one area, you get benefit over the others, and your risk of further decline and injury decreases. So let me give you some examples here of what I'm talking about in terms of vision. So, we might put glasses on, like I'm at readers now, and I'm in my late 50s, so 1.5 does come up, but it doesn't necessarily compensate for some of the problems that happen if my eyes and my movement aren't talking well to a part of my brain called the cerebellum, which is regulating control. So even if my eyes are working and my hands are working, if they're not talking well, things like trying to clip your nails can become very challenging. And we can do stuff for that and specifically retrain. This is one of my games. It's called a Brox string, and it's a little knotted, but we start working on training the eyes for the activity. We can use things like this to train the eyes, but we do an activity analysis to look at what the activity is, what's happening in the hands, and what's going on in the communication. So this is important because if you remember when you were a kid, if for any of you who took piano lessons or guitar lessons, you did the exact same process because your nerves, your eyes, your balance didn't know how to coordinate all that to play the beautiful music or to strum the beautiful chords. And when we lose some sensation, then something else has to pick up. Let me give you another example. There was a gentleman who came in here about 2 years ago, and he had just had a significant change in his eyeglass prescription and was under the impression that there was not going to be any kind of problem in his golf game. Well, when he went out to the golf range, he hit the grass so hard and missed the little tee that he actually tore his shoulder. And that kept him out of his golf game the whole rest of the summer. And unfortunately, with a little bit of knowledge in rehab and working on a couple of these things, like let's see what's happening with your movement pattern, because your eyes think you're one place and your body thinks you're another. And if that communication isn't talking well, that's when we start to have problems. Coffee cups, hot. We don't feel as well in our hands. We think we can walk, and geez, there's even been a lawsuit about hot coffee cups. I think McDonald's had one. But these are very common things. The coffee cup is hot. You may choose to not fill it as much so that you didn't spill. But what we really want to pay attention to is making sure that your movement, how well you're moving. If you're starting to get shaky, that's a sign that the cerebellum is not talking as well, possibly, or you have some reflex patterns that are starting to kick in. These are things that happen in the compensation, and we can work with that. So how are you shaky when you're moving? Is that part of the neuropathy? If it is, we can work with that. So there are a lot of drills. So movement relative to activity, balance, how well you're walking when you're moving things, the speed. Can you walk forward? Can you walk back? Can you walk sideways? Can you dodge dogs? All those things. Do you have to look down while you're walking? It's all about communication in the brain, and all things that we can effectively work when you get effective rehab. So vision, balance, movement. Keep that in your mind, and peripheral neuropathy is not going to be nearly as painful or nearly as debilitating. Take care, everybody. Give us a jingle if you have any questions. Like the page so I know you want to hear more. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.